Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series part 37, a series of videos where I rewrite the Naruto series, making changes to improve the story for my personal taste. The like goal for this video is going to be 3,000 likes, so please like the video so we can reach it, and if we do it in 24 hours, the next rewrite will be released within a week. 6 enemy ninjas surrounded Sasuke deep underground in the great atrium of Crystal City. Tsunade, Kurotsuchi, Shino, Akatsuchi, Anko, and Itachi were prepared to fight. After Sasuke proclaimed it wouldn't be fair for them to face him, Tsunade cracked her knuckles. "I was hoping you'd say that. It's been a while since I've had a real fight." She dashed at Sasuke, cracking the ground underneath her heels. Sasuke's Sharingan Tomoe spun, and he clashed against Hokage in a taijutsu exchange. Her fists glowed with chakra, and Sasuke knew he couldn't let those hit him. Tsunade wasn't slow, but Sasuke had no trouble predicting her strikes with his eyes. Using his superior speed to dodge and redirect her blows without touching her fists, he was an advantage. But he couldn't only focus on the Hokage. He shot glances at all 6 enemies, moving the Sharingan rapidly to look around the entire room. A thin line of magma that Kurotsuchi spat beamed towards Sasuke's face. He ducked down, avoiding the lava, but that left him exposed to a knee strike from Tsunade, aiming straight to his nose. Sasuke opened his mouth, and a white snake leaped out of it, wrapping itself around Tsunade's leg, which slowed her attack, allowing Sasuke to dodge. Tsunade exploded the snake's head with her hand squirting blood out of her fist before it could bite her, but that gave Sasuke time to sidestep Tsunade, moving to where her guard was open. Sasuke threw a left hook, putting all of his power in it. He hit Tsunade's chin with a loud crack. He expected to launch Tsunade away with the force of his attack, but her head barely even moved. Sasuke felt a sharp pain on his knuckles, as if he had just punched a steel wall. He followed through with a right uppercut to her chin again, and a roundhouse kick to her liver, attacking the most vulnerable points in taijutsu combat, but she didn't even flinch. She just casually ate his attacks and re-engaged with her fists. Taijutsu wouldn't be the way to go against her. Anko appeared 5 meters behind Sasuke's back and launched half a dozen dark snakes towards him. As Tsunade assaulted him from the front, Sasuke weaved a one-handed seal, summoning a kunai to his right hand. He slashed at the head of 2 snakes at the same time and diverted a kick from Tsunade. Sasuke threw a push kick at her side, which ever so slightly unbalanced the Hokage, and then he beheaded 3 more snakes with a single slash. The final snake attacked from below, but Sasuke jumped and threw the kunai at the snake's head. Sasuke landed, stepping on the kunai and nailing the snake to the ground. Anko used that snake as a hook to pull herself against Sasuke at great speed. She aimed a kick at Sasuke, but he raised his right hand, blocking her shin. Sasuke recoiled back from the power of the blow as Anko landed next to him. Tsunade turned around and saw Sasuke stumbling. She threw a kick at Sasuke's torso. He had to throw his upper body to the ground, bending back his knees in 120 degrees, using his hands to support his body and not hit his head on the ground. Sasuke saw Tsunade passing above him. The ground beneath him began to crack. Sasuke launched himself to the right, spinning sideways and dodging a 2-meter tall stone golem that erupted out of the ground, throwing a punch at Sasuke. Akatsuchi created that golem. He was kneeling with both of his hands buried on the ground, 20 meters away from Sasuke. Before Sasuke landed from his jump, Kurotsuchi intercepted him and threw her fist, covered in stone, at him. The golem's attack directed Sasuke to her. A white snake wrapped itself around Sasuke's arm, which he used to block Kurotsuchi's punch. Her stone fist crushed the snake, but his arm was fine. He landed, and Kurotsuchi aimed another punch. Sasuke dodged it and counterattacked, throwing a punch at her stomach. She grunted, but Sasuke thought the punch would have been much more effective. Kurotsuchi coated her stomach with a thick layer of rock, which Sasuke's punch cracked, but it took the brunt of the attack. Sasuke swept her legs, dropping Kurotsuchi down, but before he could follow through, Akatsuchi launched large spikes that emerged from the ground, aiming at him. Sasuke jumped away to avoid them, and Tsunade was on him. He kept on avoiding her strikes as Anko launched more snakes. Sasuke jumped away to avoid them, once more rising in the air, but Itachi was 10 meters above him. Up high, he had jumped before, and held 2 sickles that were glowing with chakra. He tossed them down, and they spinned rapidly. White snakes emerged from Sasuke's sleeve. They bit the ground as Sasuke was in the air, and he used them to pull himself away from the sickles, which hit the ground below. As soon as Sasuke landed, Tsunade appeared from above, aiming a downward kick at him. He dashed backwards as Tsunade impacted the middle of the arena grounds, exploding it and making a crater that shot rocks in all directions. Earth style! Rock needles! Akatsuchi turned the airborne rocks into needles which shot towards Sasuke. Itachi began to fall from behind Sasuke and used his jutsu to recall his cycles that were pierced on the ground back to his hands. Sasuke weaved a one-handed seal. His Chidori hand ignited in lightning, and he shot Chidori needles at the earth needles. Lightning style overcame Earth style, and Sasuke's needles obliterated Akatsuchi's, and they continued to cruise the air towards Tsunade. Itan landed behind Sasuke, dual-wielding his glowing sickles, and slashed at him, who ducked down. Tsunade dodged in between the barrage of Chidori needles and dashed at Sasuke. At the same time, Anko flanked him with Itan, engaging him with taijutsu. Akatsuchi's stone golem tossed Kurotsuchi towards Sasuke, and she cut the air, ready to strike with her stone fist. As Sasuke was about to land a kick on Anko's head, Tsunade reached them and blocked with her forearm. Sasuke saw Kurotsuchi flying towards him from the opposite side. He intercepted Itan's sickle attack, grabbing his wrist and breaking it. The man yelled in pain. At the same time, his Sharingan met Tsunade's eyes, and he cast a paralysis genjutsu on her. Sasuke then grabbed Itan by the stone village's vest and hoisted him up. Itan's body was turned upside down midair, and Sasuke held him as a human shield against Kurotsuchi's airborne assault. She immediately deactivated her stone fist a split second before she hit Itan. She couldn't change trajectory midair. Kurotsuchi pulled the punch, but she hit her own ally. She landed close to Sasuke and growled in frustration. Sasuke then landed a massive punch on Itan's stomach while he was still hoisted. Itan felt his insides breaking and spat blood as he was launched dozens of meters away, bouncing on the ground. Tsunade attacked Sasuke from behind. He managed to dodge it, but was almost caught off guard. It took only a split second before she broke out of the genjutsu. Anko was close to her, but she couldn't have done it so fast. Before Itan could impact the arena wall, Akatsuchi's golem intercepted him, softening the blow. Itan grunted in pain, spitting more blood, almost unconscious. Tsunade, Kurotsuchi, and Anko all engaged Sasuke in taijutsu at the same time. Sasuke moved at full speed, dodging attacks, redirecting blows. The three kunoichi gave their all to strike him, but Sasuke was quick. He managed to counterattack, but his regular taijutsu strikes weren't effective against Kurotsuchi, who coated her body with stone, or Tsunade, who seemed to be made out of stone. Sasuke then tried to hit Anko before the other two, but Tsunade understood Anko's vulnerability and fought in a formation to protect her. Akatsuchi also used his long-range Earth-style ninjutsu to protect her or attack Sasuke when there was an opening. Shino stood away from the melee, observing the fight with his all-knowing dark goggles. He held the ram hand seal and was sending chakra to one of his large gourds, which glowed bright golden. They really thought this through. Engaging Sasuke in taijutsu and trying to overwhelm him as long-range fighters provide support was a good strategy. They could keep Sasuke's genjutsu at bay when they were close to each other. However, that would be effective if only one of them was caught in the genjutsu. Sasuke dodged the punch from Kurotsuchi. She was averting her gaze, as it is wise to do against Uchiha fighters. Sasuke then grabbed her hair and turned her head to face her eyes towards his, casting a paralysis genjutsu. Anko and Tsunade came to her rescue, attacking Sasuke from opposite sides. Before they touched him, Sasuke crossed his hands and pointed his index fingers, one at each kunoichi, putting both of them under an ephemeral genjutsu simultaneously. The three women froze, but a split second later, they regained their movements and attacked Sasuke. Luckily for him, the genjutsu bought Sasuke time to dodge and dash away. Akatsuchi, however, spat rocks, forcing Sasuke to duck and slow down, allowing the three kunoichi to catch up to him, and the stone golem also joined them in the fray. They were pressing Sasuke, but he understood how they broke out of his genjutsu. It wasn't them, it was Shino. When he sent his insects to scout and informed the stone ninjas Tsunade and Anko about his plan, he must have left some insects with them, knowing he could be facing Sasuke in a battle. The insects would remain hidden in their clothes. That way, their smaller chakra signature could blend in with the ninjas and Sasuke's Sharingan would not pick up on it. They could then release chakra to dispel the genjutsu, and do that indefinitely, as the bugs could drain chakra from the ninja and then use it to break the genjutsu away. In that case... One of Anko's snakes spat venom against Sasuke's eyes, but he dodged it in time. The golem shot pebbles from its fingers, predicting where he would go to avoid the venom, and Tsunade was about to kick him in the legs. A snake emerged from Sasuke's back, blocking the pebbles, and he jumped backwards, avoiding Tsunade's low kick. However, Kurotsuchi was hidden behind the golem, and as Sasuke was coming backwards, she landed a powerful stone fist punch to Sasuke's ribs. Sasuke winced in pain as Tsunade, Anko, and the golem prepared to rush him all at the same time. Using that moment to finish the fight, Sasuke weaved one-handed seals. Chidori Stream! Lightning exploded from Sasuke's body, hitting the three kunoichis and destroying the stone golem. Anko and Kurotsuchi screamed in pain, falling to the ground, but Tsunade didn't flinch. Earth style! Moving core! Akatsuchi moved the ground underneath Anko and Kurotsuchi, taking them out of the range of the lightning stream, but Tsunade dashed at Sasuke, ignoring the lightning pandemonium enveloping her. Lady Tsunade, fall back! Shino yelled, realizing what Sasuke just did. She didn't listen. Sasuke dodged her incoming punch and looked straight into her eyes. Tsunade felt large metal rods piercing all of her body. She couldn't move. The Chidori stream had destroyed the insect hiding in Tsunade's clothes and couldn't dispel the genjutsu. Sasuke weaved one-handed signs and touched her chest with his left hand. Chain lightning! Lightning ignited out of Sasuke's hand and crossed Tsunade. Twin lightning bolts exited her back and leaped towards Kurotsuchi and Anko, who were still struggling on the ground. Earth style! Mud wall! Akatsuchi erected 2 earth walls in front of the fallen kunoichi. The lightning bolts exploded them, but the 2 women were fine. Sasuke's jutsu broke Tsunade out of his own genjutsu, but amazingly, she was still standing and barely winded after a lightning bolt crossed her torso. Sasuke dashed backwards as Kurotsuchi and Anko stood up. Tsunade's chest moldered from Sasuke's jutsu, and Shino released insects from his sleeve. They divided themselves and entered the clothes of the other ninjas. He destroyed my insects with his lightning style. I couldn't break you out, Lady Tsunade. You must be careful. This feels weird. Oh, I'm never gonna get used to it. Kurotsuchi said as the bugs entered her clothes. It tickles! Akatsuchi said, giggling and checking on Itan. He was hurt, but alive. You can stop this madness any moment you want, Tsunade. Accept my deal. You cannot defeat me. One of yours has already gone down, Sasuke said, pointing at Itan. Shut your mouth, brat! I guess you really don't want to see Kiba and his dog again. We'll make you tell us once you're captured. The hypocrisy in this room is astounding. You claim the moral high ground, and yet you almost accepted Orochimaru's offer to bring her boyfriend and little brother back. Oh no, they died. You want them back, don't you, Tsunade? Guess killing some Edo Tensei sacrifices wouldn't be so bad. Do you miss him that much? I, on the other hand, lost everyone. And instead of crying like a pathetic little girl, I do something about it. I told you to shut your— Wait, Lady Tsunade! Shino yelled, touching her shoulder. Tsunade had never seen Shino speaking so loudly. He's trying to goad you. Don't fall for it. She stopped herself and breathed deeply. And once again, the Hokage is saved by the only level-headed member of her party. Sasuke said, chuckling. Lady Tsunade, I think you ought to consider his offer. If we fight more, someone could get seriously hurt. Shino whispered. Nonsense, Shino. I'm not handing out some mediator and risking the treaty we have with the Land of Crystals and the Land of Earth breaking because of the whims of a rogue ninja. As tempting as the deal sounds. Besides, he's obviously lying. Don't be so naive. Shino coiled back. His gourd still gave off golden light as he infused it with chakra. And what about you, Anko Mitarashi? Shouldn't you be more thankful? I succeeded where you failed, after all. What do you mean? Orochimaru told me about your little encounter in the Forest of Death. You tried to kill him with a twin snake sacrifice, but failed. I, on the other hand, destroyed him. But you don't seem too pleased about his demise, do you? Could it be that, in a sadistic way, you grew fond of your old master, unable to break away from him, and deep down, you dearly miss him and the way he treated you? The man who tormented you and used you as a guinea pig. And that's why you had to be the one to kill him, dying in the process. You had to be there with him to share that final moment. I'm loyal to the leaf, not a rogue ninja like you! Strange. He taught you the hidden shadow snake jutsu, his signature ability. He never taught that anybody else ever again, not even me. Perhaps there was something special between you and him, Anko. That's a lie! You used that jutsu, just now! Because I absorbed his powers, not because he taught me. Do you secretly wish that you were me? That you were the one he chose the body to inhabit? Shut up! Calm yourself, Captain Anko. We mustn't fall for his provocations, Shino said. Shino, don't hold back. If you have a clear shot with your ants, sting him, Tsunade said, going over Itan and administering some healing ninjutsu on him. He wouldn't be able to fight anymore, but he would be stable. Shino kept on sending his chakra to his ultimate gourd. Using my flying lice wouldn't be effective. Sasuke would see their minuscule form with his Sharingan because they emit chakra. They're also very vulnerable to fire and lightning. It would destroy them easily. My regular insects are also vulnerable to them, meaning it's best to keep them in reserve to break all of us free from genjutsus. The toe biters are strong, they can tank hits, but they're not fast enough to catch Sasuke or even swarm him. And unlike Neji, Sasuke possesses formidable genjutsu and ninjutsu that could destroy them. The Black Death ants are certainly potent, but they're the slowest insect I have, and they cannot fly. Lady Tsunade just commanded to sting Sasuke with them, but to do that, I'll need to create an opening. The only way I can do that is by using my trump card, but those consume a lot of chakra. Shino thought in a split second as he kept pumping his chakra into the gourd, which was almost blinding to look at. Sasuke had to get out of there. If they were not giving him any intel, then this fight was pointless to him. The problem was that Akatsuchi had sealed all the arena exits as he was engaged in taijutsu with the 3 kunoichis. And even if he escaped somehow, it was not as though they couldn't search for him and pursue him in the surface. I could reverse summon myself and have Suigetsu summon me back at the mountain peak, but then they would search for us frantically. We still have Kiba and Akamaru, so we can use them to negotiate, but if I just escape, we'll never get Kato's intel. Not unless most of them are incapacitated so that they won't be able to look for us right away. Or at least they'll be too slow to catch us. Kurotsuchi and Anko weren't weak, but the real problem for Sasuke was Tsunade. She had massive chakra reserves and could prolong this fight indefinitely by healing and providing additional chakra to her allies. If Sasuke was to escape and get Kato's intel, he had to make her spend much more chakra than she already had, and create a good distraction. Fortunately for him, Orochimaru told him a lot about Tsunade. She was the sitting Hokage after all, and they were bound to run into leaf ninjas eventually. But in this situation, Sasuke would have to be forceful. If we're really to capture him, we must unleash our most potent abilities. Lady Tsunade, you shall lead the charge, Shino said, and the Hokage nodded. Kurotsuchi, use a large-scale magma style. They'll be far more effective than your earth-style enhanced taijutsu. No offense. Well, I know that. I was just trying to contain myself so I wouldn't destroy this arena. It looks really expensive. Did you look at those cushions? She pointed at the seats on the arena stands. Don't worry about that. The Land of Fire will compensate the Land of Crystals for any property damage. Focus on capturing the Uchiha, Tsunade said. Well, alright then, Kurotsuchi said, excited. Akatsuchi, you'll be the support. Protect anyone who's vulnerable with your earth style, and use your long-range attacks when you see an opening. Akatsuchi nodded. Captain Anko, you'll be in reserve. Sasuke possesses the same jutsu as you. He knows how to counter you the best. Only engage if there's a clear opportunity. Shino wasn't confident in his captain. She still seemed shaken after what Sasuke told her. Best to keep her back. And what about you, Shino? I'll be the trump card, Shino said, uncorking his glowing golden gourd. Kiba woke up completely disoriented. He only remembered Sasuke interrupting the best moment of his life and punching him in the face. It took a few moments for him to realize he couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't see. He was completely restrained and laid on hard ground in a very uncomfortable position, as his arms were tied together and so were his legs. He shook his body, looking for any weaknesses in his restraints, but they just wouldn't budge. Kiba could smell Akamaru close to him, and also 2 people who were in there, and he could also smell the faint scent of Sasuke Uchiha. What? He woke up? I thought the genjutsu will last longer. Don't do anything. Sasuke told us to just watch over him, and we still haven't seen any fire in the sky. He could know something. The Leaf team had no intel on Kato. Sasuke extracted everything he could from them. I don't mean Kato, stupid. I mean Sasuke. This dude used to know him before he became Orochimaru's golden boy. I don't see how that's important. You lack imagination. Someone removed Kiba's blindfold. He was in a dark cave. He saw Akamaru close to him, unconscious and gagged. Kiba sighed in relief when he saw his dog was breathing, and he didn't seem hurt. A sheet of water covered the entrance of the cave as rain hit it from the outside, and 2 men looked at him. One of them was skinny and had white hair. The other one was tall, large, and had orange hair. That one smelled like blood. Hey pal, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Sasuke, alright? If you lie or do anything stupid, I'll slap you, the skinny guy said. He removed Kiba's gag, and Kiba bit his finger, intending to sever it. To his surprise, the finger unraveled without much force from Kiba's bite. It was very easy to sever it. And instead of blood, Kiba just tasted water. He didn't hear any screams of pain from the guy as he anticipated. Instead, the skinny guy slapped him hard, burning his cheek. I told you not to try anything funny, dog man, he said, pointing the same finger Kiba just bit off at him. What the hell was going on? How did he regenerate his finger so fast? Now tell me, what was Sasuke like when he was a kid? Burning hell, you scum! Kiba took another slap to the face. If I slap one dude, I can do something a bit more permanent. He unsheathed the sword and pointed it at Akamaru. Sasuke told me not to kill y'all, but maybe it could just sever a leg. Have you seen a 3-legged dog? It's the funniest shit. What kind of monster was he? Of course, Kiba had seen 3-legged dogs before. Many Inuzuka clan dogs have taken several battle wounds, and it was the least funny thing in the world. If you touch Akamaru, Kiba took another slap. At this rate, he's gonna be a 2-legged dog if you don't start answering my damn questions. Sasuke was dumb. He was a total loser. Kiba took another slap. Lies! Stop coping. All the girls loved him. They found him cute for some reason, but he's ugly. And well, he never cared about them, and he was a pretentious brat too. That checks out. I suppose the guys would be very jealous of him, but the girls, oh man. Did he have any actual friends, or just groupies? I guess he had a couple. Naruto was his best friend or something, I don't know. Isn't that the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails? Yeah, they were like a dog and a cat. Total opposites. Always arguing or fighting, trying to one-up each other, but deep down, they couldn't live without each other. It was annoying. What? So Sasuke tosses kunais and needles? No, not like that, you idiot. They're just... Kiba took another slap, a harder one this time. What now? I didn't lie! Don't call me an idiot, you idiot. They were friends. They had their differences, but they went through a lot of crap together, I suppose. Sasuke defended Naruto with tooth and nails, and vice versa, but they pretended it wasn't a big deal and they didn't care for each other, but in the end of the day, they kind of loved each other. What about girls? Was there a special one for Sasuke? One that was his favorite? You know, maybe not, one he showed affection towards, but one that was more of his little pet? I mean, I guess there was Sakura. Do tell. They were teammates too. It was Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and she had a massive crush on Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't reciprocate that much. Was he annoyed that she had a crush on him? No, not really. What? That's huge! That's freaking huge! What do you mean huge? Well, for Sasuke, tolerating someone might as well be a declaration of love. Well, now that you think about it, everything's a little fuzzy, but last night, he asked me if Sakura was alive before he put me under a genjutsu. What? That's insanely huge! He still cares about a girl in the leaf! Damn, is she hot? I mean, she's kind of flat-chested, but she is pretty. She has nice pink hair and, well, I guess she has nice legs and a pretty good rear. Do you know what that means, Jugo? That Sasuke's bonds to the Leaf Village haven't been completely severed and that he may discard us once Itachi is dead? No, you idiot! That Sasuke is an S guy! Thank you so much, Dogman! You have no idea how useful you were, the skinny guy said with a devious smile, and he began to slap Kiba's face non-stop on both cheeks. Ah! Why are you still slapping me? I don't know, man. Your face is so slappable. He said, cackling in laughter, but as Kiba's face received a palm assault, the guy slapping him was oblivious to it, but the big guy had a terrible look on his face. He was sweating, and it looked like he just had the worst stomachache. A golden cloud emerged from Shino's gourd. From afar, it looks like 1,000 shiny golden coins that flew around him. Those were Shino's most powerful insects, the golden thief bugs. Shino was the first Aburame clan member in history to find and master them. They were so rare, many people from his clan thought they were just a fable. He found them during one of his travels on a small island in the land of water. This variety was different from any other insect he had. Their carapace was shiny and golden, and they were beautiful. Even non-Aburame clan members found them quite pretty to look at. They couldn't drain chakra like most Aburame clan insects, so Shino had to provide his own to empower them. The more he gave them, the more powerful they became, and they consumed a lot of it. However, that steep chakra cost came with a reward. The golden thief bugs made no noise whatsoever as they flew. Their wings beat so fast, it was impossible to see them in motion, and they were extremely fast for it. They could change their flight direction abruptly, like a firefly, but were much faster when doing so, and their most powerful aspect was their defensive capabilities. They were extremely durable and could withstand powerful elemental ninjutsu. They didn't have powerful physical attacks or chakra drainage, but they also had more subtle special abilities. With a mental command, all golden thief bugs coalesced into a dense cloud hovering close to the ground. It was almost uncanny how fast and coordinated they were when flying together. Lady Tsunade, use my flying platform to approach him. Kurotsuchi, launch your magma style to create an opening. Don't worry about hitting my bugs. Lady Tsunade jumped on the golden cloud, directing chakra to her feet and sticking herself to it. Kurotsuchi weaved signs. Earth style! Seismic fissure! She stomped the ground in front of her, and a crack began to form, darting towards Sasuke. The ground began to split apart, and before the fissure reached Sasuke, he jumped high. The ground opened into a chasm where he had been standing. Magma style! Mantle ejection! Glowing magma erupted out of the chasm like an infernal geyser. The molten rocks spewed towards Sasuke, who was midair. He weaved a hand hand seal and launched a snake from his sleeve, which wrapped itself around one of the arena seats, and Sasuke pulled himself towards the stands. A few drops of lava still hit Sasuke's side, singeing his skin, but he got away mostly unharmed. He landed on one of the chairs almost 20 meters above the arena grounds, and observed the gargantuan column of magma hitting the ceiling of the underground arena over 50 meters above the fissure it ejected from. He felt the intense heat of the lava hitting his face, even though he was about 50 meters away from it. The seat cushions that were closer to the geyser began to burn, even though the lava didn't touch them directly. Something carved a hole through the magma geyser. It was Tsunade, hovering on top of the golden swarm of insects. They flew through the lava in a bowl shape to protect the Hokage from the jet of molten rock that was launching from underneath. The magma did nothing to hurt the bugs, and they didn't allow a single drop to touch Tsunade. None of them died from the heat. Tsunade used the geyser to block Sasuke's line of sight, to only let him know she was approaching after she was much closer than he would anticipate. As soon as the bugs exited the lava, the swarm turned into a flat platform which turned 90 degrees and pointed Tsunade, who used her chakra to stand on a vertical surface, towards Sasuke. He weaved one-handed seals as Tsunade jumped, blasting her airborne platform the opposite direction and beamed towards Sasuke. Sasuke spat an incandescent fireball. It hit Tsunade mid-air, who was between the geyser and Sasuke, exploding in a flash of light and a powerful shockwave. However, Tsunade didn't even register it. She was still darting through the air. Her skin was not even singed, and she prepared to punch Sasuke. The magma geyser stopped, and Sasuke jumped up. For a split second, the arena was eerily quiet. Sasuke saw Tsunade's fist erupting with chakra. The combined additional speed she got from the cloud of bugs with the impulsion of the platform itself made her attack much faster than Sasuke thought it could have been. The fireball jutsu was a mistake. He should have just gotten out of the way immediately. His jump wasn't going to completely clear her strike. Tsunade's punch missed Sasuke's torso as he jumped up, but she hit his right shin. Sasuke wrapped a snake around it for protection, but he might as well have put a sheet of paper to block her attack. Her fist melted the snake, his skin, and the bone, exploding his lower right leg with a snake as they turned into a thin cloud of red droplets. Sasuke rose through the air. He strangely felt no pain when he saw Tsunade destroying his leg, but a wave of adrenaline ruptured within. Tsunade's follow-through hit one of the arena chairs carved from the rock. A massive shockwave erupted from her fist, which exploded the arena stands and destroyed almost half of the stadium. Sasuke went up. His stump left behind a thin string of blood, and he adjusted himself to land on the cave ceiling of the arena with just one leg. Lady Tsunade got him! Let's finish the job! Anko yelled, looking at Sasuke far above her, trailing blood. Akatsuchi, who was next to her, weaved a hand sign, nodding, and touched his hand on the ground. Earth style! Great golden gauntlet! Before Sasuke landed on the ceiling, a human-sized fist made out of rock leaped out of it and punched Sasuke, sending him down at an angle towards a section of the stands that Tsunade's punch didn't destroy. Sasuke hit the stone seats, destroying several of them in the process, as Kurotsuchi flew 20 meters above him, on top of a golden insect cloud. Magma style! Great magma orb! Kurotsuchi spat a large sphere of glowing rock at him. Sasuke summoned a large snake that wrapped itself around him. The lava hit it, completely covering the snake. Kurotsuchi weaved more hand seals. She spat a jet of cool water that hit the magma, producing a large cloud of steam and hardening the molten rock. It solidified into the conical shape of Sasuke's coiled snake. Nice job! Anko yelled. Wow, it looks like a big mountain of poop from down here, Akatsuchi said, laughing. Easy peasy. I wonder what you'll say about it, Naruto, Kurotsuchi told herself, observing her restraining jutsu from above, still flying on Shino's bugs. Tsunade landed close to the hardened lava. It's over, Sasuke Uchiha. If you fight for more than 2 minutes with a severed leg like that, you'll die from blood loss. We'll open this cocoon and capture you. Do not resist, and I will stop the bleeding.
You underestimate me, Tsunade,
Sasuke said with a muffled voice coming from inside the cocoon. You're strong, but you can't fight with an exploded leg like that. Give yourself in, lad. And perhaps I'll even give you a good prosthetic once we're back in the Leaf Village. Kiba had no idea for how long that guy had been slapping him. Both his cheeks burned as that bastard cackled in laughter. However, he didn't see the taller guy standing up with an unsettling expression, and half of his face turned to a different color. Hey! Stop! slapping me. There's something wrong with the guy behind you, you idiot! Ugh. He didn't listen, and the tall guy beheaded the one who was hitting Kiba with an X-like protrusion coming from his left arm. He looked at Kiba, who couldn't move from his restraints. He manifested his nail claws, but the angle was too awkward to cut the ropes tying his wrists. I'll kill you. I'll kill you so bad. But first, I'll disembowel your dog in front of your eyes. He moved towards Akamaru's unconscious body. Tsunade waited for Sasuke to answer, but he remained quiet. There was a chance he already passed out from the blood loss. Better to get him out of there before he died. Still, they had to be careful. He could be planning something funny. Kurotsuchi, can you start A bright blade of blue lightning emerged from the cocoon, piercing the solid rock and hitting Tsunade in the middle of her chest, running through her heart and emerging behind her. The blade extended a few meters after exiting her back, and she felt a sharp pain on her chest as lightning enwrapped her. It paralyzed her muscles, and her heart being pierced so thoroughly stopped her circulation, making it difficult to think. Lady Hokage! Kurotsuchi screamed from above, flying on top of the golden thief bugs. Shino's stole biters immediately emerged from one of his gourds and flew towards Tsunade. Lightning carved a person-sized hole in the cocoon, and Sasuke Uchiha emerged from it, holding his spear of lightning with his left hand, still piercing Tsunade's torso. He walked out with a casual gait, and the patterns of his stage 1 curse mark covered half his face. Tsunade looked down in disbelief, realizing he had both legs. The leg she had destroyed was completely healed, free from any scrapes, though his trousers were ripped in that section of the leg, and he didn't have his right sandal. As the toe biters were about to reach Sasuke, he weaved a one-handed seal with his right hand that was not holding the blade, and ignited lightning around him, hitting Tsunade and destroying several of the incoming bugs. Shino had to pull them back. They could eat chakra and water, but not raw ninjutsu. Tsunade lifted a trembling hand. It was a great effort just to move it, but she signaled the others not to interfere. I told you not to underestimate me, Tsunade. How is it possible? She muttered, looking at Sasuke's unharmed right leg. The only people I know who could shrug off a wound like that were my grandfather with his regeneration and Orochimaru with his substitution. Could Sasuke have even mastered Orochimaru's substitution jutsu? He mentioned he absorbed his powers, but what do you exactly mean by that? You can't kill me with an attack like that, Uchiha, Tsunade said, overcoming the lightning paralysis and weaving the tiger hand seal. I know, that's why I hit you with it. Reverse seal open! Art of mitotic regeneration. Tsunade's forehand seal opened itself and spread around her body. The open wound where Sasuke's blade pierced her began to steam. It's just like Orochimaru said. You can recover from practically any wounds using that jutsu. But it has a steep cost, doesn't it? A great amount of chakra reserved in your forehead. And the more you have to heal, the faster it expires. Knowing my jutsu will make a difference. Orochimaru was weaker than me, she said, dashing towards Sasuke, still impaled by the long blade of lightning. I wouldn't be so sure. Sasuke twisted his hand that held the blade, and 10 additional spears of lightning emerged from Tsunade's torso before she could reach him. They were ramifications of the initial blade. Tsunade gushed out blood to all sides. She felt unimaginable pain and knew that all her vital organs except for her brain were pierced from within. The golden thief bugs dashed down in amazing speed, letting Kurotsuchi drop. Sasuke activated another Chidori stream, but this time these bugs soldiered through the current and didn't die. They barely even slowed down. Sasuke dashed backwards, jumping down to the arena grounds. His Chidori spear fizzled and the spikes vanished from Tsunade's body, but he kept a regular Chidori activated. He slashed with his Chidori at the incoming golden bugs, destroying a swath, so they weren't invincible. Earth style! Earth sandwich! Akatsuchi said, touching the ground. 2 large blocks of stone rose from either side of Sasuke, smashing together. As the golden bugs flew back, Sasuke weaved one-handed seals with both his hands simultaneously. His curse mark stage 1 began to take over his entire face. He extended his arms to each side, and a lightning dragon erupted from each of his hands, destroying the crashing blocks of stone. The dragons arced and began to fly towards Tsunade. Kurotsuchi finished weaving hand seals and landed close to the Hokage on the arena stands. Magma style, scorching tsunami! Kurotsuchi smashed her hands on one of the rock chairs, and the rock rock turned into lava. A massive wave crashed down upon the arena grounds, which dwarfed and consumed the lightning dragons. The wave crashed, and Sasuke had to jump up, landing on the other side of the arena stands. Kurotsuchi dispelled her jutsu, solidifying the rock on the ground below, in the shape of a wave. Tsunade stood up. Kurotsuchi came to check up on her, and she was shocked to see all of her wounds almost closed, though there were several bloody holes all around her clothing. I will keep my mitotic regeneration activated. That way, I won't have to worry about his lightning style. Orochimaru's substitution jutsu consumes a lot of chakra. If we can keep the pressure on him, we'll tire him out, Tsunade thought. Sasuke looked at the destroyed arena from the stands above. His plan to get himself restrained by the magma style so that he could pierce Tsunade from within, forcing her to activate regeneration, worked partially. He didn't intend to get a leg blown off. Using the skin change made him worry about his chakra reserves. But the Chidori spear ramification managed to force her into spending a lot of chakra. However, the healing seal still spread around her skin. Sasuke would have to tire her out more, and he would have to be forceful to do it. His curse mark pattern covered his entire body, turning his skin into a gray-orange hue. He lowered his shirt, and wings shaped like hands emerged from his back. It was time to end this. Kiba rolled on the ground, unable to cut his restraints, and put his body between Akamaru and that laughing psycho. He had to do something to protect his dog. You wanna die together, I suppose? That's fine by me. So long as I can see your guts, I don't care. Suigetsu's head reformed itself with water. Jugo was having a fit, and Sasuke wasn't around to stop him. He was about to kill the dogman and his dog, and Suigetsu was helpless. He probably wouldn't die because of his jutsu, but the dogman, poor guy, he was shielding his dog, trying to protect him from Jugo, even though he had no chance whatsoever, even though he was still bound. It was sad. Then again, it wasn't Suigetsu's responsibility or anything. If Sasuke wasn't here to contain Jugo, it wasn't as though he could do much about it. But then, looking at the dogman's face, Suigetsu remembered the day he became a ninja, and the tears of someone he loved. I'm not gonna let you touch my dog! Yeah? Let's see then! Jugo lashed his arm at Kiba, laughing. Water tendrils wrapped themselves around his head before he could slash at Kiba. Jugo turned around, slicing the tendrils with his X-arm, and Suigetsu slashed at him with Sasuke's sword. Jugo blocked with no difficulty, using his arm axe. Suigetsu didn't even draw blood. Damn it! There isn't enough meat in this sword! Sasuke should have let me keep mine! Why am I even doing this? Why am I helping this guy? Suigetsu thought, wincing, as Jugo landed a strike on his torso, dropping him down. His chest popped into water and Jugo began to punch him relentlessly. Die! 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 He screamed with every punch, exploding Suigetsu into more water. Suigetsu looked at Dogman. Hands up, Dogman! He exhaled, pointing his index finger at Dogman while Jugo pummeled him. Kiba lifted his restrained hands, and Suigetsu shot a drop of water from the tip of his finger, severing the ropes tying Kiba's wrist. With free hands, he used his claws to cut the ropes restraining his legs and the ones restraining Akamaru. He then broke Akamaru out of Sasuke's genjutsu. You'll have to punch me harder to kill me, Jugo! Suigetsu said, provoking Jugo so that he wouldn't see what Dogman was doing. Kiba signaled for Akamaru to be quiet, and they bolted towards the cave exit. Suigetsu lowered his water barrier, letting the two escape into the rain. Good. At least Dogman was not gonna get disemboweled, but Sasuke would be livid at Suigetsu for letting his prisoners escape. And Suigetsu didn't know how to calm Jugo down. He had a feeling he would just keep on punching him until Sasuke arrived. And if Sasuke ever needed reinforcements, he could forget about it. The golden thief bug surrounded Shino. He flared his chakra, transferring it to his insects, which gave off golden light when they received it. He looked at Sasuke, who just manifested the wings of the second stage of his curse mark. Tsunade landed close to him with Kurotsuchi. Careful, that's the second stage, Shino said. I know, I heard the reports, Tsunade responded. How long can you keep that going, Lady Tsunade, regenerating like that? It depends on how much he hits me, but I'll be able to hang in there for at least a little while longer. Very well then, engage him in taijutsu. I'll create a more subtle opening this time. Kurotsuchi, how are you on chakra reserves? Low. I used too many large-scale jutsus. So were mine. I essentially gave the rest of my chakra to the golden thief bugs just now. Should we engage with Lady Tsunade then? How old are you, Captain Anko? What kind of question is that? It's important. I'm not privy to this type of information as a chunin. I'm 28. Shino caressed the back of Tsunade's head, which weirded Kurotsuchi out. You'll stay back then. Lady Tsunade and my golden thief bugs will be the only ones engaging close quarters. We will. Sasuke was already at them. Shino couldn't couldn't perceive his movements on the second stage of the curse mark. The entire arena ground erupted into lightning, blasting all of them away except for Tsunade, who withstood the blow. But Sasuke slashed a Chidori at her, creating a wide gash on her chest and squirting blood. The deep cut began to immediately regenerate. The lightning stream caused too much pain, which paralyzed Shino for a moment. He fell down, but sent more of his regular insects to break everyone free of an eventual genjutsu. Tsunade punched back at Sasuke, but he vanished, appearing from behind Akatsuchi and spitting a fire dragon at him, which exploded on an earth wall he created just in time to block it. Anko launched snakes at him. Sasuke put one of his wings in front of his body, letting the snakes bite it. This venom will never do anything to me. I'm just holding you there, you idiot. Tsunade came from above, aiming a kick at Sasuke, but he vanished once more. Not before slashing through Anko's snakes with imperceptible movements. He appeared right behind Anko, touching her neck with his left hand, more specifically, Anko's curse mark. She froze. You never mastered it, did you? Orochimaru told me how it almost killed you. Let's see how well you'll fare this time. The golden thief bugs flew towards Sasuke, but he was faster. Curse mark patterns shining bright orange appeared in his arm, and they leaped to Anko, passing to her curse mark, which began to flare, creating patterns on her body. Anko's curse mark patterns were thin and angular in nature. She began to scream in pain, falling to the ground, clutching her neck. The golden bugs reached Sasuke. He flew up using his wings, and the bugs gave chase, but Sasuke was faster. Magma style! Molten boulder stream! Kurotsuchi spat several magma orbs towards the flying Uchiha, who evaded them midair with so much elegance. He weaved a one-handed seal and began to rain fireballs upon them. A raging inferno, some fireballs clashing against the magma orbs. Others were blocked by Akatsuchi's mud walls. Shino knew they were in trouble, so he directed his golden thief bugs to Lady Tsunade so that she could fly and reach Sasuke. Captain Anko screamed as the curse mark flared and consumed her entire body. Stick to the plan! It's the only way we can beat him! Shino said as Tsunade hopped on his golden bugs, flying to Sasuke. Sasuke shot more fireballs at them, but the bugs formed themselves around Tsunade into a golden orb, protecting her from the fire, and kept flying towards Sasuke, who flew down and slashed at them, carving a hole into the orb and cutting through Tsunade with a Chidori. She crashed on the stands and Sasuke slashed her one more time, but the Hokage steeled herself and threw a punch, which Sasuke casually dodged, and appeared behind her, slashing her again with a Chidori. More blood gushed. Tsunade aimed a kick behind her, but Sasuke was no longer there, appearing on her other side, and slashing again. You did me a favor using this jutsu. I don't have to hold back anymore. Well, not too much, at least. Just tell me when you're running out of chakra so I don't kill you accidentally. Tsunade ignored the immense pain she felt every time Sasuke slashed her. He wasn't using piercing attacks, which were more dangerous, but slashing attacks debilitated her speed and strength, and she couldn't land a hit. His speed was at another level with his stage of the curse mark. He kept slashing. The cuts repaired themselves, but could she hold out her mitotic regeneration longer than he could hold out his curse mark? The golden bugs began to fly around them, and Sasuke winced in pain out of nowhere. His movements slowed down significantly, and Tsunade re-engaged in taijutsu, now being able to compete against the second stage of the curse mark. Another Sasuke emerged from the ground behind Shino and landed a kick to his side, sending him flying. Shino felt his ribs breaking, and it became difficult to breathe. He must have sent a clone on the ground while he was inside that cocoon, but at least the clone didn't have the curse mark activated. Kurotsuchi jumped at him, spitting lava, but Sasuke's clone dodged it. Anko looked at Sasuke, but she was paralyzed, screaming and unable to fight. Shino sent his remaining toe biters and flying lies towards the clone, but with a powerful fire-style dragon, Sasuke singed them midair and destroying the insects. Shino now barely had any of his regular insects in him as well. The fire dragon danced on the arena grounds and dashed towards Akatsuchi, who encased himself in a stone barrier, withstanding the explosion caused by the dragon when it hit him. Sasuke's clone launched snakes from his sleeve at Kurotsuchi, who was running out of steam. Out of options, Shino dashed towards Sasuke. The snakes bit Kurotsuchi on the neck and torso, but Kurotsuchi used her stone skin on those areas so their fangs wouldn't pierce her. However, the bite force was tremendous, and it pinned Kurotsuchi down. She weaved hand signs, but Sasuke's one-handed seals were faster, and he shot Chidori needles at his pinned target. Kurotsuchi couldn't move out of the way. She used her stone skin all over her body. However, the lightning-style needles overcame it. They pierced her body in a dozen different places, including both arms and legs. She felt a wave of paralyzing pain, and her body became limp from the lightning discharge. However, she noticed none of the needles hit vital spots. A limping Shino reached Sasuke's clone and engaged him in taijutsu. The snakes let Kurotsuchi go, and she fell to the ground, quivering in pain, with bright blue needles sticking from her body. Shino threw punches and kicks, and started to trade blows with the clone. This wasn't his speciality, much less with his ribcage in tatters, but he had gotten better at taijutsu over the last few years. You must be truly desperate to fight me in close quarters, Shino. I just have to hold out until Lady Tsunade beats her original. A stone spike erupted from the ground, impaling the clone. Akatsuchi got him after opening a small window on his stone barrier, but instead of puffing away, the clone turned into a fireball. The blast engulfed Shino and threw him away into the distance, but his overcoat protected him from the fire. It was made from a special heat-resistant silk from unique silk bugs the Aburame clan cultivated. Sasuke and Tsunade fought in the stands above. The golden thief bugs surrounded them. A loud, high-pitched sound came from the direction of the fight. Akatsuchi removed the lightning needles from Kurotsuchi using a stone golem to touch them, and grouped Itan, Anko, and Kurotsuchi close together, the fallen combatants. Anko retched from the pain of the curse mark, and Kurotsuchi couldn't move well because of the puncture wounds. Itan was unconscious. Do you have any chakra? Akatsuchi asked Shino. No. I still have some, but I don't think I can take on that guy if the Hokage loses. Not on my own, at least. Stay here. You get on Lady Tsunade's way. Captain Anko, can we do anything to help you? No, I need Lady Tsunade to pump me with chakra so that I can overpower the curse mark. I can't withstand it much longer. She will win. She's a Kage, Kurotsuchi said. Sasuke was impossibly dizzy. He was seeing 3 Tsunades in front of him. The golden insects were blasting him with the loudest sound he had ever heard. A high-pitched, terrible sound he felt was about to melt his brain. Sasuke tried to dispel genjutsu, thinking this was an auditory variety, but that was no illusion. Rather, physical sound waves assaulting his ears. The pain and dizziness were so great that Tsunade matched him in a taijutsu fight. Even with the second stage activated, fully blasting chakra, he had landed no hits after the noise began, and Sasuke was running out of time. The second stage had been activated for too long already. Sasuke could feel the chakra burning his veins, muscles, and overtaking his psyche, urging him to kill. He tried to run away from the insect's range, but Tsunade didn't let him. She was locked in, and yet she was also close to the bugs, as close as Sasuke was, and she seemed to be completely unaffected. Were her ears made out of steel too? Sasuke managed to look at them, and they weren't clogged by anything blocking the sound waves. Her regeneration wouldn't help her overcome this sort of effect, and these insects could withstand fire and lightning. Sasuke would have to hit them all with a Chidori, but it would be impossible to get all of them while fighting the Hokage. They were even able to dodge the Chidori needles, so he had to strike with a regular Chidori, his fastest strike. There was no option. He had to beat the Hokage first. Sasuke tried to wrap a snake around his head to cover his ears, but the sound would also affect the snake, and regardless, Tsunade grabbed it and exploded with her bare hands. She then landed a glancing blow to Sasuke's side, drawing blood. Oh yeah, she'll do it! Akatsuchi sat on the ground below, watching the fight happening about 40 meters away. I told you she would. She's a Kage. But I don't understand. Sasuke seems even slower than before his curse mark thing was on. And what's that awful noise that's coming from there? Kurotsuchi said. The noise is the reason for his lethargy. It's slowing Sasuke down. It may just sound annoying for us, far away from the source, but Sasuke is in the middle of the vortex. My golden thief bugs are directing the noise straight at him. I tested the conditions he is in right now myself. It's unbearable. I couldn't even stand up. I'm astonished he's able to fight Lady Tsunade. But why is Lady Hokage not suffering from the same effects? She's really close to the bugs, just like Sasuke is. The golden thief bugs beat their wings faster than the human eye can see, and they can create powerful sounds with them. They can also direct those sounds with pinpoint accuracy, straight at Sasuke's ears. Thousands of blasting waves from all those insects aimed at him at the same time with a high-pitched, infernal sound. And you're right, even though the bugs have pinpoint accuracy, if any of us were in Lady Tsunade's place, we would be suffering terrible sound wave effects. Not as much as Sasuke, but enough to make us unable to fight. However, the golden thief bugs can also control the frequency of the sound. And how does that help? Like any body part, the human ear deteriorates with age. The older you become, the more difficult it gets to hear high-frequency sounds. The sweet spot for the golden thief bug's sound blast is at a frequency of 15,598 hertz. A regular person mind can hear that frequency until their mid to late 30s. Lady Tsunade is 53. She cannot hear the bugs at all, while Sasuke at 16 can hear them perfectly.
That's amazing. It's an unbeatable jutsu if your target's young enough.
There are drawbacks. It consumes a ludicrous amount of chakra, and I can't use my golden thief bugs for a week after that. They have to rest, or they'll just die from exhaustion. But yes, it's a perfect jutsu for this situation. Sasuke couldn't fly because of his dizziness. They exchanged more attacks, both managing to dodge each other, but Sasuke goaded Tsunade into trying to finish the fight. When she got very close, Sasuke used his right wing to reach around himself and slammed Tsunade from behind. However, the Hokage caught the large wing with her palm. Sasuke tried to pull it away, but the Hokage had an iron grasp. She held the wing with such force that her fingers dug into his skin, drawing blood, and then she swung. Sasuke was yanked from the ground, and using his wing as a rope, Tsunade flung him over her head and slammed him on the other side. Sasuke felt bones cracking. She didn't let him go and slammed him again. He was too dizzy to counterattack. The sound attack combined with the rapid swings, the world was spinning faster than his Sharingan could handle. She slammed him again and again. There was only one thing he could do. Sasuke ignited a Chidori and slashed the base of his right wing, slicing it free. Tsunade tossed the wing away and followed through with a kick, and Sasuke used his other wing as a shield. Tsunade hit it, crumpling the wing and striking Sasuke behind it. He flew down and hit the wall of the arena grounds below, spitting blood. Tsunade landed on the arena grounds, but Sasuke stood up, the power of the curse mark coursing through his veins, urging him to slaughter them all. He ignited a Chidori. Pain. Unfathomable, omnipotent, universal pain hit Sasuke with the force of an exploding sun. Sasuke's Chidori fizzled out, and he fell to his knees, screaming so loud his throat could rip apart. It came from his back. That pain, there was nothing that could compare to it. Sasuke slammed himself to the ground, trying to make it go away. He hit his back, but it wouldn't leave him. It's over. I got him with the Black Death. He just smashed the end, but one sting is more than enough to incapacitate. Shino told Kurotsuchi. What? When did you do it? But then she realized on her own. When you touch the back of Lady Hokage, you put the end in her hair to disguise it. So when she touched Sasuke's wing, the end moved to him. Precisely. Sasuke couldn't stop screaming. He tried to, but it was involuntary. He could never fathom so much pain would be even possible. He writhed, but it wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't. Nothing else crossed his mind but the pain. Sasuke would never feel fine again. He would never feel happy again. Why was he there? What was the point in all this? Should he just die? Maybe that way the pain would go away. Maybe death was preferable. Death seemed like a gift now. But that thought triggered a memory. His parents, dead, facing the ground, blood spreading around them. Death is not preferable. It's total humiliation. Tsunade began to walk towards the screaming Sasuke. His curse mark was still activated, and his veins were bulging out because of it. That was not the effect of the end, but the curse mark itself. It consumed him. Perhaps the pain was so overpowering that it wouldn't let him retract the curse mark. Shino's golden thief bugs returned to his gourd after exhausting all the chakra he gave them. Itachi overlooked Sasuke with his hateful eyes. His Sharingan pattern changed. Foolish little brother, if you wish to kill me, curse me, hate me, and survive your miserable life. No, he couldn't die here. He must kill. Purple chakra exploded from Sasuke, hitting Tsunade and sending her back to where the others stood in the arena grounds. Sasuke stood up, and an aura of cursed chakra surrounded him, swirling with power. It made the air heavy. It cracked the ground. What? That's impossible, Shino said as wind from Sasuke's chakra burst hit his face. He has Orochimaru's powers. He may be immune to the ant's venom. His immunity to poison wouldn't apply to the Black Death. It's a completely different active principle. He is doing this with willpower alone. Not only that, but it seems like he's getting more powerful through the pain. I've heard stories about the Uchiha clan. The hatred fuels them. I thought they were just legends my great uncle propagated. Tsunade, you let him
die. I still gave you a chance to save him, but you let him die. You let him die because you had to come here to party and drink. Your pathetic excuse for a Kage,
Sasuke said in an unhinged and disturbing tone.
What are you talking about? I pierced him with my Chidori, and he cannot heal himself like you can. I even missed his heart on purpose, but you... You killed him to get drunk instead! Pathetic woman!
Sasuke salivated blood. He turned the pain into hatred, and now the curse mark was overtaking his psyche. Killing all of them would be delightful, but he had to make Tsunade suffer first.
What is that all about? I don't understand! The great toad fraud. You sent him after me, didn't you? Didn't you? I beat him so bad. Just like I'll beat you right here. The legendary Sanin are nothing compared to the ultimate power of the Uchiha!
The ground surrounding Sasuke shattered and exploded with chakra, sending debris to all directions. Glowing orange patterns left Sasuke's curse mark and cruised his skin towards his wings. The severed one began to regrow, and the crumpled one began to reform.
Lies! Why would you even tell me this now?
Tsunade did send Jiraiya to track Sasuke down and eventually bring him back to the village if he found him, but she hadn't heard anything back from Jiraiya. Surely because they just didn't find Sasuke.
Because I want to see your face of desperation before I kill you. I can prove it to you. You must know all of his summons. You were friends after all. He loved you. He summoned a large green toad and also a small purple one to track me.
Orochimaru just told you about that.
Could Orochimaru have taught me this?
Sasuke weaved hand signs.
Hair needles.
His curse mark hair moved on its own accord and shot needles, missing them. Sasuke was too deranged to aim properly.
I'm not good at this jutsu, but I managed to copy it with my Sharingan. I tried to give you a chance, Tsunade, but you killed him. Why would you come here? Running away from your responsibilities, I suppose? Do you wish to forget your dead brother and lover? Drink yourself away. You leave the Leaf Village exposed just because you're weak.
Something snapped in Tsunade's mind. Why had she come here personally? It all made complete sense up until a moment ago. She was doing all that because she felt like it was the best choice, but now she knew this was a terrible idea. It couldn't be a genjutsu. She would know she had been under somebody's control. No, it was as though her brain just twisted back and righted itself, changing her entire thought process, as if she had been someone else when she decided to come here, and she was so certain about that decision. Sasuke's words, through his megalomaniacal rant, he was right. Leaving the village in the current situation, missing the aftermath of the Land of Whirlpools mission made no sense, and now Jiraiya was dead because of her moronic decision. This is bad. The pain combined with a curse mark made him psychotic, Shino said.
We have to get out of here. Akatsuchi, take us to the surface.
Kurotsuchi said. No, if we go to the surface now, Sasuke could kill several civilians in that state.
Kill me! I can't take it anymore!
Anko screamed in agony.
What do we do?
Kurotsuchi asked in desperation.
I don't know. Lady Tsunade, what are your orders?
She didn't respond. She seemed frozen.
Lady Tsunade?
She was catatonic. Tsunade couldn't process why she decided to come here. Why she was even here in the first place.
Yes, that's the face I wanted to see, Tsunade. True desperation. Now, I shall grant you the sweet kiss of death.
Sasuke weaved hand signs slowly and methodically, as though he was enjoying the process. A black and white Chidori exploded from his hand. Sasuke was gonna kill them all. It would all be so sweet, so tasteful and delicious to drink in their blood. So wonderful to see their insides. Tsunade would be the first one. The others would be in complete shock after he severed her head. He couldn't wait to see their faces faces once he did so, and Tsunade herself would even be able to witness those beautiful faces. You retain consciousness for a few seconds after a decapitation. But no, Sasuke had to kill the others so fast that Tsunade would see them dying as her head fell to the ground. Yes! Sasuke looked at Tsunade's desperate eyes and dashed at her, exploding the ground beneath him with his speed. He would do it while staring deep into her soul. But for a moment, he didn't see the Hokage's face, but Sakura's. They were similar. Sakura, she hugged him in the forest of death when the pain of the curse mark became unbearable. It was such a warm, comforting hug. Why didn't she hug him longer? Why didn't he hug Sakura back? Why did he never hug Sakura back? She had hugged him so many times in the land of waves right after Sasuke was almost dead. It was a painful hug because of the needles in his body, but Sasuke felt that pain and enjoyed it. Why did he leave the Leaf Village in the first place? Just to suffer? Where was he even right now? This was such a strange place. And why was he killing Sakura right now? He was going to sever her head with a clean slice of an onyx Chidori. Sasuke remembered why he left the village, why he left Sakura and Naruto, because he must kill Itachi, not Sakura. He couldn't kill Sakura now. That would be wrong. Terrible even. That wasn't even Sakura, was it? That was a hallucination, wasn't it? The pain, the curse mark, it drove him mad, but he still had control over his actions. Sasuke's onyx Chidori stopped a few centimeters from Tsunade's neck. His hand trembled, and Sasuke's gaze was of pure agony. Veins popped in his arms, face, neck, leaking blood. The curse mark was destroying his body, but he couldn't retract it. The pain was too intense, too much. He screamed, and the dark lightning of the Chidori expanded, hitting the entire arena, blasting the leaf and stone ninjas but not killing them. They were all badly hurt. Sasuke flew up with his regrown curse mark wings towards the roof of the arena and used his onyx Chidori to pierce through it, flying towards the surface. He puked blood, which fell on the arena ground, and carved through that stone a long tunnel using his Chidori. Eventually, he emerged on the reigning Crystal City outskirts. He began to fly towards the mountain peak, trying to get help from Jugo or Suigetsu, but the veins popped out, leaking more blood out of him, and cursed flesh lumps began to form around his skin. Sasuke plummeted, hitting the city below. He was in a relatively empty area, especially with the rain, and he managed to hold his screams of pain, but Sasuke could no longer move. The last embers of his chakra were barely keeping the curse mark at bay. Tsunade breathed in heavily, staring at the hole Sasuke made on the roof. Rain fell from it. "Kill me, please! Lady Tsunade!" Anko said. The triangular patterns of her curse mark took her entire body. Sasuke forced his own curse mark into hers, triggering its activation. Tsunade kneeled close to her and pumped chakra into Anko, giving her more chakra so that she could push the evil cursed chakra away, and the patterns receded. She then went over to Kurotsuchi and Itan and administered more healing ninjutsu. "We have to evacuate the city." Somehow he managed to contain himself from killing us here, but he may not be able to do so in the city above, and I have to return to the Leaf Village immediately, Tsunade said, falling to her knees in exhaustion. Her skin crumpled and her mitotic regeneration patterns receded. Kurotsuchi clutched her before she fell to the ground and was shocked to see Tsunade's real appearance. "You have to rest, First Lady Hokage. Akatsuchi, can you take care of the evacuation signal? Go up there with your earth style?" Akatsuchi fell to his knees, tired. "I can't. He drained my chakra." "Sasuke? No. Shino. I didn't see his bugs coming. I was too distracted with Sasuke's burst of anger, and Shino took my chakra with his bugs. I saw him flying up through the hole with a small cloud of insects he had left." Indeed, Shino was not among them, and with no chakra, they would have to take the elevator up, which would take a long time. "Don't worry. If Shino did that, he has a plan," Tsunade said weakly. Sasuke's curse mark completely paralyzed him. It hadn't done that ever since his fight against Kara, and the pain from Shino's end made it impossible for Sasuke to retract it. He still had drops of his own chakra that were able to fight against the maddening influence of the cursed chakra, attempting to overtake him completely. He figured if he couldn't retract the curse mark within 2 minutes, he would die. "I see you are in quite a predicament, my dear Sasuke. Stop suppressing me, and I can take the pain away." Sasuke heard Orochimaru's voice from within himself. Watch part 38 of the rewrite right here. Please like the video so we can reach the like goal, and tell me in the comments down below what you thought about this part. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future rewrite videos. And thank you so much for watching, guys.